All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle a massive idea today, and it all starts with something surprisingly small, a single thought.
So here's the core phrase. A person becomes what they think they are. You've probably heard some version of this, right? It's been echoed through the ages, it sounds super profound, but let's be real for a second.
Is it really that simple? I mean, that's a totally fair question. It can easily sound like a cheesy slogan you'd see on a poster. So our goal here isn't just to repeat that phrase. Nope, we're going to dig in and try to understand the actual mechanics behind it.
So, first things first, we have to figure out what we're dealing with. Is this just some modern self-help fad, or is it something deeper? Something more like a universal law?
And you know, what's fascinating is that this idea is anything but new. We're talking centuries of exploration by some of history's greatest minds. You've got guys like the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius talking about it from a practical, philosophical angle, and then fast forward to William James, one of the fathers of modern psychology, looking at it scientifically. And they all kind of landed on a similar conclusion, even though they got there in totally different ways.
Now, the source material we're digging into today presents a really unique take on this. It says this isn't just a good idea or, a neat psychological trick. It actually frames this whole thing as a fundamental law of the universe. Yeah, like gravity. It's just how things work. So how do you wrap your head around a law like that? Well, this next idea really helps. Think about it like this. In some other, maybe more spiritual world, a thought could just poof into reality, instantly. But here, in our world, there's a time lag. It takes time and effort and actual action for a thought to become a real physical thing. And get this, that delay isn't a bug, it's a feature. It basically turns our world into the perfect training ground for us to practice, to refine, and to choose our thoughts with care before they become reality.
Okay, so how does this universal law actually work in practice? The material we're looking at uses this really powerful metaphor that makes it super clear. It all starts with a seed. And the metaphor is this simple. You cannot plant a morning glory seed and pray for a watermelon. I mean, it's so obvious, right? But think about it. No matter how much you wish or hope or pray for a big, juicy watermelon, if you planted a tiny morning glory seed, you're getting a morning glory every single time. The seed you plant completely dictates the outcome.
And that, of course, turns the whole thing back on us. It becomes a moment for a little personal reflection. If your thoughts are the seeds of your reality, well, what kind of seeds are you planting, day in and day out?
Let's build on that seed idea, because the source offers this incredibly empowering way to think about belief itself. It basically reframes it as, well, a kind of talent. So here's the crucial point. The fact that you can genuinely believe you could become, say, a great musician, that's not just wishful thinking. The idea is that it's actually proof that the seed of that musician is already inside you. It's like a message from your own potential. Think about it. Someone with zero musical aptitude would find it pretty much impossible to truly, deeply believe that about themselves.
Okay. This all sounds great in theory. But what about real life? What about the day-to-day grind? The anxiety, the worry, all those other negative thoughts, the weeds that seem to just pop up all on their own?
Well, the source suggests a really active process for this. It's called positive self-generation. And the key word there is generation. This isn't about sitting around and waiting for positivity to show up. It's about actively creating it yourself. And it breaks down into 4 steps. You generate your own energy. You make a real effort. You focus on what you can actually do today, and you find a way to build hope for tomorrow. And to describe this whole process, the source uses a really strong word. It says you have to fight. You have to fight those negative thoughts when they try to take over your mind. But let's pause and address the big challenge here, right? Being told to fight when you feel completely drained, when you have no energy left, that can feel like a ton of pressure. It can actually make you feel even worse. Because what if you don't feel like you have any strength left to fight? So what if the fight isn't what we think it is? And that question leads us to the absolute core of the solution here. It's another simple metaphor for the mind, but this one changes everything about that struggle. The key is understanding this simple but really profound rule. Your mind cannot hold 2 contradictory thoughts or feelings at the exact same time. Like you can't genuinely laugh and genuinely cry in the very same instant. So picture your mind stage, or even better, picture a single chair. At any given moment, only one thought gets to sit in that chair. So suddenly, the fight isn't this violent, bloody battle against a negative thought. It's not a brute force struggle. It's more like switching the channel on a TV. It's the quiet, conscious work of deciding which thought gets to occupy that single chair in your mind. And this idea, it makes the whole abstract concept of positive thinking something really concrete. It becomes a moment-to-moment choice. So the fight isn't about wrestling your anxiety to the ground. It's about politely saying, "Excuse me, that seat is reserved for hope now," and then consciously, deliberately making that switch. But why does mastering this skill even matter so much? Is it just about feeling better? Well, the source suggests there's a purpose here that goes way beyond just your own personal gain. The ultimate vision here is that getting a handle on your inner world, developing yourself, and becoming happy, these aren't selfish goals. In fact, they're the prerequisites for being useful to the world. Your success and happiness create this positive ripple effect. It doesn't take anything away from others. It actually contributes to the well-being of everyone. All right, so let's just quickly recap the journey we've been on. We started with a simple phrase, right? And we found out it's treated like a fundamental law of the universe, with Earth as our training ground. We learned that really believing in something isn't just wishful thinking. It's actually proof of your own potential. And maybe most importantly, we discovered that the real fight against negativity isn't some brutal battle at all. It's just the simple, quiet choice of what thought gets to sit in your mind's one and only chair. And that leaves us with one final thought. We know the goal, right? It's to consciously change who's sitting in that chair. So the real question becomes, what's your personal method for changing the channel? Think about it. Are you the kind of person who needs to just blast a negative thought out of there with a powerful, energetic, positive one? Or are you someone who prefers to just quietly observe that storm of negativity, wait for it to pass, and then gently plant a new, quiet seed of thought in its place? There's no single right way to do it. The real goal is to find the method that works for you so you can take back control of that single, powerful chair in your mind.